So, as you all probably know by now, Bully actually released, which I did have a bet with one of my friends that Bully wasn't going to come out the 27th of March, and you know, it didn't, so that's good for me. I won the bet, and it just came out the day after, so you know, that's even better. I won the bet, and the album came out. But, you know, about the actual album, I have some opinions about it, let's just say that. And I have some points written down that I would like to just discuss with you today, even though you can't really answer me. So, first off, basically just some background about Bully. As you all know by this point, Kanye has been spazzing out a little bit, but you know, that's not too bad. He just said some really messed up stuff, but it's fine. You know, he just talked about how much he loves Hitler and how much he likes white people and no one else but white people. But we can ignore all that now. That's in the past. He's dropped it all, hopefully. And yeah, he announced in, I think it was early 2025, that Bully was gonna come out. And he started the rollout. So, first off, the rollout was not that good. He released, I remember he released like an early version of Bully a while ago on his YouTube. No, it was his Twitter actually. And that sounded really AI. That's another topic I'm going to later. But that sounds really AI. And it was a lot shorter than the actual released version of Bully we had today. And there was a certain song on that version which had a sample which was not allowed, which led to the song becoming good on the released version, but it had a lot of potential. I'm talking about highs and lows, but that's not the point. That we're not gonna talk about that right now. Anyway, the first version of Bully, the one released on his Twitter, was just not that good. The production was aight, but the rapping wasn't really there because, it was AI, mostly. I don't even remember if there was any real, human vocals. I think it was just AI. But anyway, later on, he denounced all the Nazi stuff, and then we got the actual release date, which was supposed to be 27th of March, but it became 28th of March, but that's not the point. And then it came out this Saturday. Actually, it was last Saturday, but that's not the point. So, what did I do when it came out? I sat in a call with my friends and I listened to the album, And, the main thing that I feel like a lot of people have been talking about with this album, which I'm gonna say as well, is that the production is actually like really high quality. Every, the all the samples used on the album are amazing, and just generally the production sounds real nice. But the rapping simply is not there. Even though the bars are there, the lines are there. If you actually go through and just check the lyrics, it will seem like it's a really good song. But when you actually listen to it, he doesn't have the spirit, He doesn't, he's also real tired in a lot of the songs, in my opinion at least. Which just makes the entire thing feels like it has no soul to it. And soul is one of the main things with Kanye. Him having just, even though with a lot of his releases, when they're bad, you can still feel like he has his actually feelings in it. He actually wants to try and make a good album. And sometimes he succeeds, with a lot of his earlier work. And a lot of times, and actually not a lot of times, but a lot of the more recent times, he's failed massively, like the entire The Vultures era and Donda 2. But here, the entire soul is just missing. When he raps, he just sounds kind of monotone, in my opinion. There are some exceptions, like with All the Love, and to a certain extent King as well. But just generally, he sounds like he doesn't really want to be there, which is a problem when you're making music, You want to sound engaged, because the people who listen to it want to hear you actually care about the songs. But yeah, that's the main point I have about the vocals, except for the AI part, but we're coming to that. And then the last real part before the AI actually is the features. The features are special. I think Andre Troutman did his thing on both All the Love and White Lines. We don't talk about Don Toliver on Circles, because that's just special. Travis Scott did amazingly on Father. That kind of feels like I said it when I listened to the album with my friends. Father just, and a lot of the earlier songs on the album kind of feel like a mixture of Jesus and Utopia songs, in my opinion at least. But then you have CeeLo Green on Bully, which I didn't really like that much. I know some people have been saying they like it a lot, but I just didn't really like it. And then Peso Pluma on Last Breath, which I remember that one of my friends, me and one of my friends we had heard the snippet before, the version released as a single on Kanye's Spotify. And that sounded, like the earlier snippets. But one of the friends hadn't heard this version, like the old version of it. So we told him there was supposed to be a sample who sings the stuff in the beginning, but I guess it got replaced by Peso Pluma. And we started laughing when his part came, because it just sounded so wrong, in my opinion at least, because of the original sample version, which is just a lot better. Like, it might be personal stuff I have against Peso Pluma, I don't really know, but it did not really sound good. I thought it sounded just off. But now, I guess the main point I have left, which is the AI. The original version of Bully, as I said before, had a lot of AI. And, that's a problem, because, as you should know by now, AI is bad. I shouldn't have to be the one telling you this, but if I am, AI is bad. So that was, of course, really disappointing, hearing Kanye of every person use AI. But then, during, the second version of the album, the one released on Spotify, he said before the album released that there would be no AI at all. And at least from what I'm hearing, on the earlier songs, there's not any AI. It might be some song with an AI part, but that's just me not hearing it. But on, as an example, Circles and Preacher Man, there is still audibly, like clearly AI on both of them. And it's like, at that point, just remove the songs from the track list. If you said you're not gonna use AI, and then you keep songs with AI, either re-record them, which will be the better thing. But if you're not gonna do that, just remove them from the album. Like, it can't be that hard to re-record the songs, because you can use the AI as a reference track, which you can go from. But I don't really think Kanye needs that. He can just re-record the songs as he would record any other song. But he still kept the AI on it, which is not good at all. So yeah, overall, I guess summarizing it, I would say that the production is there, the lyrics are there, but just the spirit is not there. That's the main thing I got. But I have only done one listen. Maybe it'll grow on me, or maybe it'll just sound worse over time. I don't know. Overall, I would give it, though, if I had to rate it out of 100, a 68. Because that's what I feel like. But that's basically all I have to say today. If you liked the video, subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And yeah, that's all I have to say. See ya.